Good morning, everybody. I'm like great. It's a great pleasure to be here, firstly, and then let's talk about the problems like we are facing, everybody like in the region. But yeah, I was part of this project. I'm very glad I was part of this project. I met youngsters, which I work most of the time, that are very keen to find solution about their problems they face daily. One of them is climate change. We've talked about that, but in another approach. I'm always seeking youth to get connected more with the nature and more with the real world, which I called, and I'm always being pointed as someone who left no mountains without visiting. And that's because, yeah, I want to visit and to see how this climate change issue is impacting local communities. I want to talk beside climate change, there's another issue which is rivers, degradation of rivers we are kind of facing in Albania. I hope it's something because we have like 4 catchments, watersheds in Albania, which are within the region, not shared borders. But yeah, I hope it's regional, it's only local, but I have seen that that's a problem we are facing as a whole region. And it's like waste management, water, river degradation when it comes to the use of these resources we are having. And the problem is more connected with how economically we see development. When it comes to economy, like a lot of businesses, but even locals, when we talk about the legislation, they see it as obstacle, and that's the issue. So we have to make them aware that the best solutions are that kind of mentality that where you think about the future generations, and that's what brings to sustainability.
Thank you, Gonja, and thank you to the organizers for this very important event, Balkan Forum and all of its partners, regional partners. I would say it intrigued me really much a question Francesca made in the beginning of the event, when she said, where would we be if it wasn't for the EU agenda to push forward the climate agenda and environmental protection in general? I think this is the central point that we need to discuss. Is the environmental protection agenda our own? Is it owned by us? Or is it something that sort of a standard that comes from outside that we need to comply in order to move forward in the integration process? So I think the first challenge is with making our policymakers and making our decision makers in general aware that environmental protection is actually something that we need internally, and it should be part of every cross-sectorial effort to improve the well-being of citizens and prepare the country for a lasting and sustainable development, rather than it being some sort of standard for us to get some financial instruments from the EU or to get in closer to the EU, to pass a step towards the EU. I think this is one of the main challenges that we have. A second challenge that might even come from this is the lack of internal capacities of the institutions. Most of what the advisor to the minister mentioned in the beginning, those hazard maps, the applications, the scientific studies, most of them were made by international donors. So international donors come, they provide expertise to our institutions, but they don't actually leave sufficient capacities for our own institutions. And this also has to do with a general public administration reform, which really left civic servants in a difficult position. And many people do not see the public sector as attractive enough to join it and to build capacities and to leave capacities for the institutions, so that the institutions themselves can actually make modelings, can do scientific reports, can develop applications and software and so on. Another challenge that we see is the rule of law in general. we have this polluter pays principle, for example, in our legislation, but it is not implemented at all. All of us in this room know about this Kosovo law on preventing the use of tobacco cigarettes inside. We saw it being adopted, but it was not implemented, or it was only partially implemented in the beginning. Same with other legislation, for example, law on the energy performance on buildings, which really would revolutionize the use of energy and the optimal use of it in the buildings. It was adopted in 2014. It wasn't implemented at all. Then in 2024, we decided to do another law, which is 90% the same law, but just to say that we did approve something more.
First, I would like to say hi to all. And after that, yes, I would like to say that the youth people in my country, they are facing with a lot of challenges. So, but they are now trying to change the things because we are following the strategy of youth. We are having a lot of engagement, youth engagement, and a lot of NGOs which are working on climate actions, especially with youth people. So, yes, we are working a lot on solving this issue. Our country is supporting us as an NGOs. We now have some, let's say, consortium of NGOs which are gathering together and working with the government of Macedonia to solve the issues caused by climate change, especially with the youth people. So yes, we are fighting a lot against the climate changes, and I hope that in the youth people, the future, with the youth people, the future in our country will be bright.
Well, when it comes to Bosnia, sadly there are a lot of problems that we face, but I would like to highlight the most important ones, which are the frequent floodings, wildfires, and of course the air pollution. So to address these problems, I think the most important steps we need to take is to first invest in the climate resilience with the focus of flood prevention, because currently over 90% of expenses that come from climate-related damages come from actually floodings. Also, I think we need to transition more to renewable sources of energy, because currently in Bosnia, I think over 60% of energy is created through the power of coal and lignite. And the most important solution I think we need to implement is the improvements to the air quality, because Sarajevo currently, and for the past I think 10 or more years, is almost always on the top one for the list of the most polluted.
So yes, I had the chance to participate in 2 of the exchanges that were held in framework of this project. Firstly, I was part of the exchange held in Bosnia as a participant, and then I had the opportunity to serve as a trainer during the exchange that was held in Albania, led by Albanian Scales, which I thank very much for the opportunity. And during this training, we covered topics like climate change, youth empowerment in environmental governance, and climate disinformation. Before answering your question, I have to mention that I was very surprised and impressed by how much interest the participants had in these topics and how much knowledge they had towards the topics.
So to be honest, the challenges are everywhere. It's not that in Spain we have the best world. Okay?
Not this severe, I would say.
No, it's the same, but I will give to you our experience. Brigade Connect has started from a research project, meaning that with the researcher, because when you speak for innovative solution, it seems like you are in another world. But the idea is that when you work with researcher and with developing the prototype, all of these people that are working needs first to know the problem. And this is why Brigade Connect is now an NGO that is supporting this innovative solution for facing this natural disaster risk. Why I said this? So the idea is that while you are working and you have a clever idea and you want these entities, because even the other panelists has said that there are entities, strategies, so all the government that is working in a higher level need this researcher to innovate on a proper way and to help facing this problem like climate change. So the Balkans, the Western Balkans, and also all Europe is facing natural disasters, and this is due to climate change. So the idea is that Brigade Connect is helping all this innovative solution to be proper on the market, mean that the Brigade Connect team helps these researchers, these SMEs, these universities, these NGOs that have clever ideas to be proper in the market, to be disseminated in a proper way, to reach the proper end user. When I mean end user, means these entities that the other panelists has listed, means